Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Sever7, and today we're taking a look at the Vosteed Psyop 299. That's with the ultimate goal of seeing if it's worth adding to your collection or your daily carry rotation. This knife did come from the Lefty Pass-Around group. It was designed by Jeff Blavelt of Tough Knives, and the OEM for this knife is Vosteed. Jeff Blavelt introduced the Psyop series to Vosteed, and every subsequent Psyop model has all come from Jeff Blavelt of Tough Knives. So the larger size, the crossbar lock, the small version, button operated lino lock, this version here, all Jeff Blavelt. So big shout out to him. Jumping right into it. So I'm going to say this first. This knife has been out for a little bit now. It came out with huge acclaim. So I am late to the party on this review because this knife has already came in stock, sold out, and then came back in stock again. So hopefully you guys still find some meaning in my opinions on this knife. So let's jump right into it. We've got this beautiful black and white micarta. I'm not the biggest fan of micarta, but it's very grippy. And whenever it's done this well, I really like it. It's a really classy touch. And I don't know, it almost feels coated, as if like I'm not actually touching the material. Maybe it's waxed, but I like that, right? Because the last thing I want is for my micarta to get dirty and kind of have like a dingy wash rag look to it. That's why I don't like micarta that much in the first place. But if the micarta is waxed and sealed, then I love it. So we do have a spot for a lanyard hole. We do have a spot for a reversible pocket clip. It's a deep carry wired clip. Very easy in and out of the pocket. Very good retention. Blacked out hardware. A beautiful 1/3 bronze anodized backspacer, which matches the thumb studs. And the thumb studs have a very nice kind of stepped milling to them. Maybe if it's in focus. And then it's even got a dimple right here on the top, just to really make sure you're not getting poked by anything, right? There's nothing uncomfortable about these studs. Very nice to engage. Very fidget friendly. We are rocking a top liner lock. And what that means is, unlike a plunge lock or a button lock, this isn't interacting with a spring. This is interacting with the liner itself. And whenever I push this in, I'm pushing the liner in, and that's disengaging the knife. No different than if I had a liner up here and I pushed it to the side, right? It's the same principle, except I'm pushing the liner with the button, and then the knife is dropping, right? Very fun and fidget friendly and finger safe locking system. Let's talk a little bit about the ergonomics. So we have a nice, relatively neutral handle. With neutral handles, it's not the perfect fit for anyone, but it's a great fit for everyone. So I wear large size gloves. I can get a full 4-finger grip. I can hammer fist it nice and easy. This spot right here, this contouring, makes it easy for me to, to really dig in with my pointer finger very comfortably. And then the rest of the knife, I mean, it feels great. Like the rest of the handle feels really, really great. It's thin enough that I can, wrap my entire hand around it and squeeze down. I feel locked in still. There's no hot spots whatsoever. Pocket clip vanishes in hand. I can choke up a little bit if I want to. And then I can also use this flat spot here for a pinch grip. And as far as comfortability goes, it's all day. Thank you, Tri-State. You have total control to do any draw cuts, precision cuts, any fine slicing that you need to do. You can sit in this spot literally all day with no issues, right? This is going to be great for precision cutting tasks, but also just good EDC tasks, right? Opening boxes, opening lighters, things like that. But if you need to, cut some leather or, maybe you're, I don't really know what other precision stuff you could do. I don't even cut leather. So, but if you do it, you know what you do, right? So just imagine doing the thing that you do with the blade or with the knife in hand like this, right? And if this is appealing to you, well, congratulations, because it's going to be great at it. Let's talk a little bit about this. Actually, I have been asked to talk about the stop pin, the placement, and how it impacts sharpening life. So if you can get a look in there, you'll see that the so there's two stops back here. We're only focused on this bottom one right here because this is the one that stops the blade. So it looks like, okay, I see it now. Yeah, it looks like that stop pin is landing right down here where it's fat and flat, which is fantastic. Now, hold on a second. Okay, so it's a little deceiving because we have like two lines here. We've got this line here, but then we have this line way up here. So typically you can follow this line and kind of see where your sharpening can go to. Technically you could sharpen down to here, but you're going to get a smile. Yeah, right about here. This is whenever the blade material starts to thicken up substantially. So as you sharpen, you're going to go through less material back here, but you're going to go through more material up here, and that's going to be what creates that smile. So you'll still get plenty of sharpenings out of this. I don't see it being an issue for most people. As a matter of fact, I don't see it being an issue for 95% of people. If you sharpen the knife this far, then you've gotten your money's worth out of it. So I think you're perfectly fine. We do have a fantastically handsome swedge up here, a nice flat, and it gives it a lot of robustness towards the tip, and it gives it a pretty aggressive look overall. I'm a big fan of using these lines to kind of give attitude to the blade. And I know I say handsome swedge a lot. That's because I think they're handsome. I think they add a look of character to the blade. And you might say calling it handsome is personifying it, but so what? It's a handsome swedge. All right, let's talk about this action. I was able to do it once. Whenever I was recording this video for the first time, I was able to front flip it. There's jimping here, and it sticks out a little bit, right? It sticks out a little bit. And I... Okay, well, the action is very satisfying on the way up. Acoustics on the way up are great. Acoustics on the way down are a little muted. It's got really good pressure to build up on. It rockets out. My only gripe with the action on this knife is I wish the button travel wasn't so long, right? Action on this knife is terrific. Even with the long button travel, it's terrific. But like, let's say I push it in, I push the button almost all the way in. You see how I'm almost all the way in there. I'm not getting anything. I really have to push all the way in. And that, it's just that long push. For one, it's a little more straining on the thumb, but it just takes away a little bit from that fidget factor. Whereas if it was a shorter press, I could fidget easier. My thumb wouldn't get as tired as quickly. And it would just make it a little more fun. So yeah, I just wish the button travel, I wish I could push to like here, right? Like make it to where like if I pushed and I was flush, it would break, instead of me having to push all the way in to get it to drop, right? Really my only gripe with this knife. Otherwise, and even with that, the action's still fantastic. Make no mistake. Anybody you ask about this knife, they're going to say the action is terrific. And that's because it is. Very satisfying every which way you can deploy it. Comfortable, ergonomic, acoustically delightful. It's just a fun knife to fidget. Now, let's talk a little bit about specs. Overall length, we're coming in at 7.17 inches. The name 299 is derived from the 2.99 inch blade. And then we have a blade to handle ratio of 0.71. So 0.7 is the minimum acceptable blade to handle ratio. But this is an example of essentially making the most of what you have, right? Because even though it's only a 0.71 blade to handle ratio, this knife looks very, very good, and it looks relatively balanced. Yeah, they could have given us more, because we see we have room from the tip to the back spacer, and the back spacer is eating up quite a bit of space itself. So in reality, if we didn't have the back spacer in the way, we could probably go down, maybe a quarter of an inch. Maybe not quite that much, maybe a fifth of an inch. So, I mean, yeah, I can see why it's a 0.71 blade to handle ratio. But, with the way this knife arches, so it arches down on either side, and the blade and the handle follow the same kind of ergonomic profile, it still looks good, right? It still looks really good. Yeah, just a super, super handsome knife. Let's do some size comparisons. Up against the milled aluminum Civivi Brazen. Third best Civivi ever made, next to the Visions. The Real Steel Sylph. Made slightly shorter because I rolled the tip. We're coming in pretty close to the same size as the Sylph. And then my second favorite budget knife of the year, the Migaron Gotov. And that's coming in about a third of an inch shorter than the Psyop 299. So what's the price on this knife? This knife comes in at $139.99. It's retail. Places like White Mountain Knives, you get it for about $14 cheaper with their 10% off code S7. Anywhere you shop at, plug in S7 and see if it gives you a discount or free shipping or something. I've got a few links listed down in the bottom. Some of them I get paid for. So if you want to check those links first, that would be amazing. Thank you. Yeah, at $139.99, this is a no-brainer. This is one of the best knives of 2025. The design, the ergonomics, the action, the fact that it's a top liner lock. Didn't even talk about the fact that it's S35 VN. Completely skipped over that kind of an important detail. That's known for having really good edge stability and being easy to sharpen with good corrosion resistance. Ease of sharpening means low edge retention, so keep that in mind. Yeah, I mean, the value per dollar is huge with this knife. I'm gonna get this before. Thank you. Holy cow! Did you see that? Did you see me front flip this thing? Damn it. Okay, I can't do it again. Doesn't matter. I did it once, and it's recorded. Whew, that was exciting. I didn't expect that to work. But I mean, yeah, the form factor, the EDC ability, the function of this knife, the fidgetability, the aesthetic. I mean, this is a fantastic package for $139. I'm not sure that there is a whole lot better you can do at $139. My personal preference is for the Vosteed Martin. I like that one a little bit more, and I believe that's priced at $100. But you're not getting S35VN, obviously, and it's a smaller knife than this. But at $100, the Vosteed Martin is my favorite knife. So if this was a little outside of the price range for you, check the Vosteed Martin. Beautiful knife. But if the Vosteed Martin wasn't doing it for you, if it just wasn't big enough, or you wanted, you preferred S35VN, or maybe you like the intricacies of this knife, you like the, micarta inlays, and you like the backspacer and thumb studs matching, this is essentially $40 more knife for $40, right? It's the same value the Martin gives at $99. This gives it $139. Absolutely fantastic knife, executed beautifully by a great designer. Overall, I am a tremendously huge fan. My only gripe was that I think the button push, the button travel is a little, sorry for the shake, too long. Other than that, this is pretty close to perfect EDC. Checks a lot of boxes. And if you don't mind the long button push, I have no reason not to recommend it. And even the long button push, you kind of adjust to. Like I'm pretty well adjusted to it now. Still wish it was slightly shorter though. But that wouldn't stop me from buying the knife. I mean, this thing's fantastic. I'm pretty sure they have these at Blade HQ. My Blade HQ link is in the description. I'm still kind of new to links and stuff like that. But for the love of God, support the little guys, right? Some of these channels that have 10,000+ subscribers, they might seem really small, and in the grand scheme of things they are, but they're making a decent income. Smaller channels that are like under 5,000, actually I won't even say, I'll say if they're under 10,000 subs, if they're under 10,000 subs, just they're probably paying for everything out of their own pocket, struggle busing. If they're over 10,000, then they're probably monetized in a meaningful way, making some kind of profit, or at least breaking even with their expenses, right? I can't speak for everybody, but the smaller channel is, the more they're coming out of pocket for the stuff that they get, and the harder it is, right? So even if it's not me, if you watch a lot of channels, focus your support on the smaller guys. A lot of really hardworking ladies and gentlemen out there, that are grinding really, really hard, just like everyone had to. But they're grinding really, really hard, and everything's out of pocket, right? They don't get, YouTube checks. They don't get affiliate checks. They're just not big enough yet, right? So whether it's me or not, focus on supporting the little guy, right? And, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 30,000, those in our little world, in our neck of YouTube, that's not the little guy, right? If you're 10, 20, 30, 40,000 subs, if you're not making any money, tell them because you haven't monetized or you haven't tried, right? But you're getting enough traffic to make money. Under 10,000 though, you're just kind of getting started, where you're at a point where you can actually make something, right? Like I think I just monetized on my channel maybe a month ago, and I've got like $5.50 of revenue, ad revenue sitting for me. Yay! And it's not about making money, but the closer I can get to this hobby, not this hobby, but this channel breaking even, the better. And any funds I get from this channel are going to go straight into giveaway funds, right? Because right now I pay for any giveaways that I've done out of pocket. I'm going to pay for the next several dozen out of pocket. But yeah, any help you can give to the little guy, like I said, whether it's me or not, if you see a channel, if you like their content, if you watch them consistently and they're under 10,000 subs, maybe focus on using their affiliate links a little bit more, right? Instead of the Metal Complex affiliate link, right? He'll probably be fine without a couple people using his link. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's the same idea as supporting small business type of thing. Anyway, for me, this would be in EDC all day long. Would not be a collection piece. It would definitely be a daily carry. It's a delight to use, manipulate, and carry. But what about for you? At $140, is this something that you would find in your collection? Would it be like a light duty carry? Or is this an all day, everyday user, right? No F's given. beat it up? Or did this knife miss the mark for you completely? Really interested to read your answers down below. If you haven't yet, please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And until the next time, guys, peace.